Good evening and welcome to the Unicorn Centre, where we're here with the dressage coach for the inaugural lecture demo, which is live. So we have Maddi Burchell here, creator and founder of the dressage coach, and Sam Skinner and Wu. They're going to be going through several movements and breaking it down from the beginning all the way through how to establish these movements. These are also comprehensively described through the Dressage Coach app, which is available online on the App Store and on Google Play. So we have several questions and answers going throughout the next hour. So if you have any questions, please do pop them on Facebook and we'll answer them as we move forward. So without ado, I'll hand you over to Maddi.
Thanks, Charlie. So we're really excited to be here tonight. We've had a great day on first day of our camp, and we've done some fantastic training, lots of amazing combinations today. Now we're lucky enough that Sam has joined us all the way from Wales to come and show us how to do some movements. What we want to do for you tonight is break down how things start, so from the basics, and how they develop through to those more advanced levels. So we're just going to run through some basic things, moving it right the way through, letting you have a look, seeing a real horse and rider combination going through and just showing you, you know, how it works, how sometimes it might not, and that's fine. That's all part of training. Please feel free to send us any questions you like, whether they're for me or for Sam, who's riding. Absolutely fine. We'll do our best to answer them. So I'm now going to go and start with Sam now, and I hope you enjoy.
Do you want to just have a quick run through about the journey of Sam and where she started and got to?
Okay.
Or where she is now, because it's quite an interesting one.
It is a very interesting one. Maybe, well, I would say maybe Sam's better to answer that, but she is a bit busy with Wu. So Sam got Woody as an unbacked youngster. She has backed him herself. She has trained this horse solely herself. She is now competing him affiliated Prix St George. What's slightly more amazing about this is Sam actually has no facilities at home. So she does this by actually properly schooling Woody in a natural arena 1 day a week, and the rest of her training is done out hacking. So I think we can all admit that's fairly amazing.
Isn't it?
But it just shows you with determination and creativity, it's achievable. So we're really excited that she's here with us today. She's a fantastic rider. He's a fantastic horse, and I hope you're going to enjoy watching them. So Sam, if you just want to give Will a warm up like we would normally. He's going to have a cough. Just normal. So guys, as you can see, Woody is a fairly large horse. Sam is not particularly large person. So that makes a challenge from the get-go. You can admit that he's certainly a lot for somebody her size, you'd think, but actually because she's trained him right the way through, he's actually brilliant for her, you know. He is a really nice forward-going horse for a big horse. He's actually very nicely off your leg all the time. And he is generally of that type of horse that really just wants to please. He just wants to do his best for her all the time. He finds the lateral work very easy. It took him a while to get there. But once the light bulb went on, he really did find it easy, and now he really excels in that. He is currently competing Prix St George, and he has started playing with a few more things going a little bit higher, and we're aiming him for Grand Prix. And he will, and she will. And he's just a really nice guy. We really, really, really love his trainable temperament. He wasn't always particularly of that mindset. Again, a light bulb kind of went on and off he went. So you can see he's a fairly loose horse. He takes a bit of time in new environments to relax, but Sam knows exactly what she's doing with him now when it comes to this. He does have a habit sometimes when he's tense. He doesn't go tight and tense in your normal sense, what he does, he holds his breath. Then he makes his ribs go solid because he holds his breath, and that's where we lose the suppleness. So it's not that he does anything silly. I don't think I've ever seen him do anything silly or naughty in a ring out of tension, ever. He just gets tight because he literally, you just see the ribs go out here and he goes, oh. But he's really improved with that. He's getting so much better, and the more Sam does with him, the better he's been. She qualified nationals with him last year, and he actually went and he actually breathed the whole way through the weekend, and he was just a megastar. So there's definite progress there. So have any of you got any questions on Sam or Woody or anything so far?
What level did Sam compete up to before she got Woody?
I think she may have ridden 1 or 2 novices unaffiliated. So she'd never done affiliated before she got Woody. Okay. She'd always played around with, she used to have a very nice cob, but she used to do a bit of everything with him. Very riding club, bit of jumping, fun rides, dressage, yes, bit of showing. Sam's mum used to have a yard, and so poor Sam used to get thrown up on everything that maybe was a little tricky. So it's made that she's developed a very good seat. There's not a lot she can't stick onto, really. But yeah, this is her, I think she'll admit that this is her first proper dressage horse.
Perfect, amazing. Maddi, how long did it take her to go from prelim to PSG?
So, Woody, that's not quite as simple as that answer. So Woody is now, I want to say 13. However, there was a period of time where he wasn't really training as a dressage horse. He was quite a clumsy horse, and it took him a long time to find himself. So he would trip over his own feet. Also, as you can see, he's a very big horse. So to actually be strong enough to properly hold himself and be able to work, that's taken time. However, I would say really the big shift has been in the last 3 years, where he's really gone elementary pre-St. George. But it was as though something just clicked, and he went, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. And it doesn't seem to now matter what we ask him. He goes, oh, I'll give it a go. And I think, to be fair to him, when we had the bit of time where he maybe wasn't quite so obliging, I think a lot of it was he just struggled to get the coordination and to get it. You can see he's a really want to do it horse. I genuinely believe with him it was never through anything other than I'm just not sure. How's he feeling, Sam?
Yeah, I think he's warm enough to play with.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to start with? No? You're just right. Okay. Okay, so Sam, let's start then. Let's start with some of our nice open leg yields all the way across the school, just letting him open the shoulders. It's all right, it doesn't matter. We're going to switch it into the half pass leg yield, half pass anyway. Very good. So we'll just do one leg yield back the other way. And now just ask him just to be a little softer through the pole. Just a touch. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's better. Good. Lovely. Very good. So there you can really see that he just finds that easy. Okay, so Sam, let's change this now to half pass, leg yield, half pass. Lovely. Well done. Yeah. Super. Okay, and one back the other way. Very nice. Okay, Sam, let's have a little play with the shoulder in travers. So we find this to be a really nice exercise for getting the horse really nice and loose through the spine and through the pelvis. Good. And obviously also very nicely off your aid and making sure the horse is really listening. Good. And again. Nice. Well done. Good. Okay, and we change the rein, Sam, with just a little bit of medium. And what I love about him is he has a genuine medium which comes from the hind. So you get a lovely front leg, but you also get a hind leg that really travels under. Yeah, we'll shoulder in travers again this way. Very nice. Good. Again, just make sure he's around your inside leg. That's all right.
What's going wrong?
Bouncing around. It's been really good.
So we have a question for you, Maddi.
Yes?
Does the breed of horse make a difference? And are there any limitations based on different breeds, or do you need to have a warm blood?
No, absolutely not. The breed of horse for me doesn't come into it at all. Any horse that has a, I'm going to say, reasonable conformation is capable. For me, it's more about the attitude, the trainability. So breed, absolutely not. Trainable attitude, I would rather take something that's got a very trainable attitude rather than something that's got all the movement in the world, but actually isn't particularly trainable, doesn't really want to work with the rider. You can always improve a horse's way of going, but you can't always change their mindset. So absolutely not. Any horse is capable. I've got another horse that hopefully might be able to come next time, who is a big gypsy cob, and he piaffes, he passages, he does canter pirouettes, and yet he was thrown out of a riding school for being useless. Well, what can you say? He's not useless. He's very capable. Okay, Sam, let's ride the travers, and we'll play with the forward and back in the travers. Good, good. Little bit of flexion. There, better. Good. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, just ask him for that little bit of push. That's nice. And then straight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, and Sam will change the rein again with some medium.
So another quick question about, based on Bella was just saying about his rhythm hasn't changed the whole way through and is pretty consistent.
So it's just really impressive that from the moment she started working with him, his rhythm is absolutely it's there, it's consistent, it hasn't changed in and out of the pace, but it's just so consistent, it's extraordinary. I'd love to know how she achieved that, please.
So I'm going to say that was something that Sam has worked very, very hard on. Keeping him rhythmical and really keeping to what a medium or an extension should be, which is an extension of the frame and the stride length, rather than a hurrying of the pace, is something that we've made a priority with him, because he is a big horse, and the last thing you want is a big horse rushing forward, because it looks even worse than a smaller one sometimes. So Sam's really worked hard on that. Sam, give him a little break for a sec. She's worked really hard on saying, okay, you know, we've taken our time and got him to develop that stretch rather than hurried him. And if that's meant that we've maybe only done 20 meters because by that point he can't hold it anymore, or he wants to rush, then that's all he's done, and we've built on that. And so, especially for a big horse like him, the last thing we want him to do is get down on the shoulders. So it's also been, maybe we've been doing this, and then what we've done is, if he started to get a little bit low, we've instantly brought him shorter, put him into shoulder in, set him back up so he's lifted again, and then let him go again. So it's been about catching him. Sam's got beautiful feel on a horse. It doesn't matter what horse she gets on, she's got beautiful feel on a horse. And she knows that minute, she can feel him go probably before we can see it. So she's already made the correction. And that's vital with a horse his size, because by the time we can see it, it's probably too late to be able to recover it. How's he feeling, Sam? He's happy? I think he looks really chilled for being somewhere he's never been before. I think he's really relaxed. Yeah, we'll pop him up to canter now. And you can see we've worked on the same thing in the walk, that when we've wanted to bring the walk back, he doesn't get hurried, he doesn't get tense, and we spent ages just going, put him down, pick him up, put him down, pick him up, and he just has to stay in the same rhythm. Yeah, I know. Let's give him a little bit of forward and back then, Sam. Let's change it up for him. He thinks he knows what he's going to do, and he doesn't. Good. Yeah. Go on. Open him a bit more. Yeah. So this is our latest party trick at the moment, that apparently going forward to medium means we should do a flying change. That's better. There he is. Well done. Good. Okay, Sam, let's bring him across the diagonal then, and we'll do one change. Lovely. Good. So what we've really worked on with Woody is making sure that he's forward in his changes and he's coming through with a nice jump. So we always start by riding the changes really forward, so that he has that thought about him, that he wants to be forward, he wants to take her forward. And then we get a lot of expression and height in the change, and that's what we want. Because when it comes to where he is now and he has to be able to do the tempi changes, if we haven't got enough energy on change 1, by the time we've got to change 4 or 5, we're in trouble. Good. A little bit of traverse. Very nice.
So this goes back to sort of in relevance to the last question. how important are the scales of training, especially within your coaching?
Vital. Anyone that trains with me will know that if we don't have rhythm, we don't move forward until we have rhythm. Then once we have rhythm, we can start to ask for suppleness. Once we've got rhythm and suppleness, we can have contact. So they're very important, because without them, we haven't got the foundations for the horse to really improve, to really move forward. They're vital. Very good. Okay, Sam, and another big change anywhere you like, your choice. Okay, let's ride that one again. So there you are. There was one. He wasn't quite forward enough. So we just end up with that slight mistake in the change. He knows better, but sometimes when he's not quite there, we get that. Good. Yeah, keep him in front of you. Yes. Lovely. Yeah, keep him. So there's the canter half pass work from the Prix St George. That he used to find quite hard, because he'd be so invested in his half pass that the weight would start to carry him that way when he was supposed to be changing and going back that way. But he's really, really, really got that now. And Sam knows exactly how to have him. So Sam, can we show a simple change? Yeah. So you see, even though he's on flying changes, we can still do a simple change. Those simple changes are vital to get a flying change like that. If we didn't have those, he wouldn't be able to get a good flying change. What's even more important is once he's got a flying change, that he can still do that in good balance, relaxed, and move. What's also really important, and we'll show you in a minute, for a horse like this that's this big, that needs to stay supple, he needs to be able to be in counter-canter and bending. So Sam, can we do the canter serpentine? Yep. No changes. Okay. So this has been a challenge for Woody, because he's so big and he knows his changes and he thinks he's being a clever boy. So he goes, I know what you want. You'd like me to change and be really smart. So what we're going here is we're going to just ask him to stay in counter-canter, think about suppling his rib, staying balanced. And now he makes it look easy, doesn't he? Very good.
So is this a useful exercise for people to do at all levels? I mean, obviously with the established canter.
With an established canter. So it doesn't need to be an advanced horse, but it does need to be a horse with a good 3-beat canter with balance. If they've got that, then yeah, absolutely. Doesn't need to be an advanced horse, doesn't need to know a change, just needs to be able to do this. And this can actually be really nice. Now, the only sometimes problem we have, I think this is a better exercise to teach after they've taught, they know a change, if you want to take them to that standard. Only because I think sometimes this discourages a change. But for me, this is about suppleness and obedience once they have a change. Okay, Sam. Give him a little break. Good boy. So we're going to take a little look in a minute once he's had a break. I thought we'd have a little look at the walk pirouettes, because this has been something that's been work, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is not good.
No, it is good now. But this has been difficult for him, but there's a lot of horse. And he's got long legs, and he needs to move around.
We have another question, Rach.
Would you say that correct schooling is just for dressage riders, or is it?
No.
Right.
Absolutely not. If we put the foundation into our horses, whatever we want them to do, then you're going to have a fit, healthy athlete that's going to stay sound. So I work with a lot of event riders, and I actually work with quite a few pure show jumpers, making sure their work on the flat is absolutely on point. And actually, it's now getting seen more and more and more that the more show jumping horses are trained on the flat, actually, the better they seem to do, the faster they actually are, because they're balanced, they're able to push. And because they're more gymnastic, they actually can get themselves out of trouble quite a lot easier. Okay, Sam, where do you want to ride them? Okay, anywhere you like.
Sorry, Maddi, just quickly, we've got one on point at the moment.
So for Sam, really, Sam, how did you decide at each level when you felt he was ready to step up to the next level of test?
No, say this first.
So it was sometimes about pushing his brain. I was tending to find I was getting less. So we figured that he needed more to think about. And the more we've thrown at him, the quicker he's come on. But with my other horse, it's actually been about slowing him down a little bit. So, I guess there was an element of gut feeling, but sometimes we just wanted to ride the movements and form a baseline instead of actually putting ourselves too much on a pedestal and thinking, we're not going to get it perfectly right. It was easier to help her and build up, and that's worked perfectly when he's confident.
And I think you'll agree, Sam, that actually what we've seen with him, the more he's gone up, the more his scores have gone up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, he's actually scoring far higher scores, advanced medium, than he ever was at elementary.
Yeah, we pretty much skipped medium because it was just not enough for him.
No, he wanted to change. That made a big difference to him, didn't it?
Yeah.
And he actually really started to enjoy it then. He was like, yeah, actually, this interests me. And now, the more we push him and the more we give him to do, the more engaged he is and the more he wants to do it. But, for him, that's where I like to be. That's what I want to do. Let's do it.
He's a very bright horse, but he's not got the quickest hind legs because he's big moving. To ask him to think about moving his legs quicker has really helped the basic work anyway, and I think that's been the advantage of moving him up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the other one, we need to almost slow his hind leg down. So, we had to sort of play around with different things.
So you wouldn't be able to do that with your other horse because it'd blow his head.
It would blow his mind, I think, if we pushed him up too quickly.
I think it could be entertaining to watch, though.
It would be quite good fun.
I think maybe we should try it. Okay, so let's ride the walk pirouettes. So think about the connection. Okay, so what did you think of that? Anyone?
I thought it looked neat
Yeah?
enough.
Yeah?
But I thought his hind legs could probably be a little bit more on the spot, a bit neater then.
Bit tighter?
A bit tighter, yeah. It looked neat enough. It looked like a nice pirouette, but just, yeah. Sorry, Sam.
Regular? Yeah? Good. So I think what we'll say is actually the one to the left is coming through quite nice. The one to the right, you're just getting a little bit of sticky. That's better. There you go. So we're back to that. When his hind legs get a bit faster, it gets better. And this is what we found with him as a whole. If you can just get those hind legs a little bit quicker.
So for those watching at home, how would you do that?
Quicker. Well, now that is a tricky thing in the walk because we don't want to encourage tension and we don't want to encourage jogging. So it's about allowing, it's about riding from the seat, it's about encouraging, and it's about getting the horse not in the pirouette before the pirouette to understand how we release from the seat and the arms and how we bring back from that. Then we don't end up with the horse getting tight, jog, stepping out, stepping round, because we just want the horse to be quiet off of our seat. So that's where the work has to go in before we get to here. And then we can start to produce this. Very good, Sam. Right, so can we do walk piro into canter piro? You choose which way you want to go first. And we just want a few steps of canter and then back. So we've been working on this exercise where we start with him in a large walk pirouette. So we're not asking him to be as tight or as neat. And then, yeah, good. And then walk. And you see the relaxation. There's no tension there. There's no tightness there. And this is what we've been really working on with him because we don't want him tight in the canter pirouettes and we don't want him to struggle. Yeah, good boy. That's okay. He says, I fell over my own foot. Bless him. That was nice though, he stood up. Good. Very good. And walk. And that is exactly what you want, that he just walks into it. Nothing. One more this way, Sam, and we'll change the roam. Lovely. Very good. Very good. Yeah, and so when you start to put that into account, that this horse goes in an arena 1 day a week, I think we'd all love to know how she manages this, right? Good boy. Good boy. Very good. Very good. There we go.
He's really struggled on this track.
Yeah, he has.
So that's quite big.
Well done. That's it. So this way, what we've purposely done, because he finds it harder this way, we don't want to lose the quality. So what we've done is we've just made it a bit bigger for him. So he still wants to keep the quality. He still wants to keep where he wants to be, but we've not squashed it down so much. Very good. Okay, walk him away from that now, Sam. Very good. Very good.
So going back to the schooling about facilities, there is a sort of mini series on Facebook went out last year. Some of you may have seen, which we will re-push out again just to give you some tips.
Yes, we
and
will.
Hints of how to.
Yes, definitely. Yes, hang on, he's on his way.
I just wanted to ask you a question.
Yeah.
How much you feel you have to work with the riders' biomechanics and the horses' biomechanics separately?
Oh, Sam, that's a question, isn't it? How much do we have to work with the riders' biomechanics and the horses' biomechanics separately?
Quite a bit. Yeah, I would say probably me more than him. So silly things. I will make sure I brush my teeth with both hands. I will use the balls out hacking, for example.
So that's the Franklin balls. For anyone that wasn't sure, that was riding with Franklin balls.
You can't go wrong with a pair of balls between your legs. That's how it goes. So, yeah. So I'm frequently hacking. I'll put them underneath, then I'll take them away. I'll put them under my arms, take them away. So throughout sort of the hack, or you know, even if I'm just going down the road, I'll just cry because I'm pitching toes. So, and I've got bad hips because of it, like they're not aligned. So I have to sometimes find different ways of doing things because my toes don't want to go where they always should go.
But look what you produce anyway.
My theory is the para riders can do everything, so there's nothing stopping them.
So she can.
Nothing stopping us. That's, you know, and if I ask him to work hard, it's not fair that I don't do the equal amount of work as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and I think it would be fair to say that we have gone fairly hardcore with Sam when we've been working on her. I mean, I've been pretty mean, haven't I, Sam?
My stirrups taken away frequently, the whole lesson.
And we even upped that, didn't we, once? And I made you ride the Tempe changes with no stirrups and sat on the Franklin ball. Yeah, on the blue peanut ball, no stirrups, Tempe changes across the diagonal. But my God, she can sit down in the Tempes now. And stay nice and central, because believe me, when you've got no stirrups and you're sat on the ball, you definitely don't want to be going one way or the other, because, yeah.
But also as well, you sometimes, if I'm finding different movements on my test sheet come back and we're losing the quality and the mark, we then tend to have a look at me as opposed to him. And it's silly things. Sometimes over trying means the muscles get tight.
Yes.
So, you know, we tend to always look at me being the fault as opposed to the horse, because I'll never blame him, I will just blame myself.
I think that's a very good point, actually, Sam. That is our start point, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the session we'll do after a test, if it's come up with a problem, the first thing we'll do is see what's going on. And in fairness, we're not looking at Woody. I have to say, because she's worked so hard, when they come back now, I think we're definitely on a 50-50 ratio, that sometimes he's just not quite got it, and it's not Sam. Now, you know, I think that's very fair to say, because she's worked so hard on her position. She's worked so hard on the connection, and it's really showing.
So leading on from that question, would you say that sort of groundwork off the horse would also be sort of important for when you then get back on and apply it to your riding?
Yes, so definitely groundwork off the horse, and obviously everybody's an individual, so it's finding what works for you off of the horse. I do think as much as we work off the horse, we need to work on the horse, on our position, because whatever we do here isn't going to be the same as sat how we sit on a horse. But yes, I think if we can make sure that we're supple in ourselves and that we're not restricting the horse in any way, that's definitely a good place to start. But I think, would you not agree, Sam, it's a bit of everything?
Yeah.
Off the horse, on the horse, with the horse.
Sometimes you have to actually look at it a different way and retrain those muscles. And they're different ones are easy to do it on because some that take you more forward with a quick hind leg, it might be easier to sit in a naturally upright position, but actually that's just a false kind of economy, if you like, because they're still not working as they should. Mm-hmm. Sometimes putting the hard work in just pays
off.
Really.
Well, we don't then have to go back and unpick it, do we?
Yeah.
And then try and build it again. Yeah. Because it's back to the scales of training question we had earlier, that if we get the foundation in right in the first place, we can build up without having to come back down and go back up again. We can just build up on a nice trajectory. Okay, Sam, so some tempies. Whichever you like. Wherever you like, whichever you like. If you want to ride a couple of singles first to make sure he's back on the ball, then please do.
So just while you're on the subject of Franklin balls, we've got a question through from Kirsty on Facebook asking, is it a good idea to warm up with the balls before my test?
Yes, absolutely. I think if you think they help you, if you think they definitely give you more looseness and it gives you more feel, then absolutely. Go ahead, do it. Good. And you see there, she's just had to ride him on a little bit more, put a bit more up in that change so that he's got the energy. Good. Good. Sickening, aren't they? I know.
It's lovely to see though, because it looks so effortless from the combination.
For me, these two, very good, Sam. These two are in a nice harmony. You know, they look like they're friends, don't they? Yeah.
I've noticed a lot of riders when they're doing their changes, they tend to chuck their bodies sideways or their legs are flinging all over the place. And this looks how it should look.
Now you see what happens when you take the stirrups away and make her sit on Franklin balls. That's why we did it. It's just a little late. Push him on. Yes, good. Yeah. So I'm also a bit mean to Sam because I do make her practice these on alongside as well. And if I'm feeling really mean, sometimes on a circle.
So how do you go about starting to teach the change to a horse, and especially for someone who hasn't ridden the change before?
Fine. So vital number one, in fact, I'll let her do this and then I'll get her to show you. We'll show it. Nice. Sam, could you come back to trot? And then back to walk. So if we were going to teach Woody to start changes, obviously we're going to do this in a much sped up way. First thing we need is a good canter. If we don't have a good canter, we're not going to get a good change. So the canter needs to be 3 beat. It needs to have nice height. It needs to have good balance. So firstly, we need to know he can do walk to canter. So the horse needs to be able to go walk to canter, staying in balance, staying in a nice frame, on the rider's aid, as easy as that. If we can get the walk to canter like that, then we need the canter to walk like that. So he needs to be relaxed like that, straight off the rider's aid. So we then start to ask for simple changes. So if we can ride a simple change with maybe 4 strides of walk. So we're going to start by riding a simple change like we want it in a test. 4 good strides, relaxed, and then ready to step off in the other direction. So this just has to be consistent. What we'd also want to be able to do is ask the horse to perform a walk to canter anywhere and onto any leg. So I'd want to, for instance, be walking down this long side on the right rein, but I want to ask at B for a left canter. So the horse must be that obedient. Very nice. So now, Sam, can you pick up on this rein, left canter? And you see he needs to be able to do that. So wherever he is, whatever she asks, he has to be listening and he has to be able to do it. And then again, he needs to be able to walk from anywhere. So anywhere you like, a walk. There. Doesn't matter where he's come from. So then once we know we can do that and we've got the simple changes, we go back to the simple changes. But this time we'd want to ride a simple change with 2 strides of walk. So now it's getting a short gap. Then we'd want to be able to ride it with 1 stride of walk, like that. And then the next stage, we have no strides of walk. So now a change. Like that. Good boy. He can walk. Good. So although that's very sped up because that wouldn't happen that quickly in real life, that's the process. So we need to be able to do this. And you could take that a step back and say the horse needs to be able to trot, canter trot, in total balance before you start to ask for the walk to canters. Good. And I don't know if you noticed, all the while she was asking him that, did you see his ears flicking on her the whole time? Asking, questioning, have I got this right? Is that what you want? I'm listening. What's next? And that is a horse that wants to work with the rider. He's interested in her. He wants to know what she wants.
So slightly off piste here. What's the best advice you can offer someone who's struggling with their confidence with their riding?
Firstly, to enjoy it. Yeah, to come and ride in front of an audience. Firstly, to just enjoy your riding. Secondly, to ride for you and nobody else. And thirdly, to do it. Just do it, enjoy it, love it. And depending on, by confidence, what they mean, maybe seek the help of a coach, even a sports psychologist. If that's where you need to go to get over phobia or something that's really worried you, then that's absolutely fine. Works really, really well. But if it's just you're not too sure about doing something, so Sam won't mind me saying that you're not the biggest fan of riding in front of people, are you? And so guess what we've done about her confidence with that? That's why she's here today. But it's the way to get through it, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've had a lot of problems in front of judges where I just forget the test and go to the pieces, and then the judge comes out the box shouting, and you just go to pieces even more. And I've really had to kind of dig quite deep for that and work through it. And some of that was always believing my horse was being let down by me, but now I actually think he doesn't know he's being let down. So now I just enjoy it for what it is, and I take each movement now as a separate thing. So if I get one wrong, it doesn't matter, I'll move on to the next. But now I expect a bit more as well.
You've become quite demanding these days, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can agree on that.
So the more you do it, the easier it becomes, basically.
Yes. You have to just put yourself out there. Yeah. And, you know, it's about pushing that comfort zone, isn't it? We don't want to give it a massive ram and blow it away, but we do need to keep nudging at it. Otherwise, we're very good at sitting here and not going anywhere or not achieving what we want to. But if we'll give it a gentle nudge, we get where we want to be. Mega.
As they say, do something every day that scares you.
Absolutely. I don't know I'd go that far. Right, can we now show how we would stretch him off? So obviously he's worked quite intensely tonight. We've asked quite a lot of him tonight. So the important part here is that we make sure that we, at the end of the session, leave enough time to let him down properly. So we need to know that all those muscles have let go, that he's stretched that spine out, he's let everything go, and he's relaxed. We don't want him ending tight. We don't want him ending with all that lactic acid build up in those muscles, because he has put a lot of effort in. So we want to now just let him really see that he can stretch it all out. We still want him to be forward. He still needs to be connected, yes. But he can start to take the neck further and further down. Now what we do, because he's such a big horse, the last thing we want him to do is go donk right the way down here straight away. That wouldn't do him any good. He'd get on the shoulders. He wouldn't do himself any favours, and he wouldn't let that back end off properly. So we gradually get him longer, lower, until he's stretched out. And what you can start to see now is that now he's letting go. He's starting to let everything go. But he's impeccably behaved, as you can see, and he doesn't put a foot wrong, and he doesn't spook, and he's just an angel, isn't he?
Nowadays.
Yeah. Well, yeah, now. Reformed Woody.
But then I think we're always ahead of him, aren't we? We don't give him, we give him enough leg. We're always one step ahead of him.
Yep. We know him. We know him now, don't we?
Am I right in saying that?
He wasn't always the easiest horse in the world to work with. Yeah.
She did used to spend more time off him than on him.
But I'm a redhead, and you know what trouble they are.
I think we can also say stubborn.
Determined.
Stubborn. Stubborn. Definitely stubborn. And I think he definitely met his match with Sam. I think he thought this will be easy.
It's been amazing watching them both.
It's been really, really lovely watching.
They're beautiful to watch, aren't they?
They really are.
Yeah. I just really, for me, that's, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing's pulled, nothing's forced, nothing's kicked, nothing's hauled. The horse does it because he wants to.
He's enjoying it.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And he's not stressed.
No.
He's loose. He's remained loose. And that, for me, is more important than anything else. That he stays in this nice mental place, nice physical place. Lovely. What a good boy. Are you pleased with him?
Yes, a good boy. The coughing he does when he holds his breath, so he gets inwardly nervous, and sometimes he holds his breath, and then he ends up coughing when he thinks he can let go of it. He's a good boy, isn't he?
He's
Off when I first get on her, she's rigid in her back. And then she coughs, snorts 3 times, and then we're good to go.
it's all good.
It's all good then.
It's all time to move on.
But we've got to have that cough and 3 snorts. Yeah.
And we dare not let her have it, eh?
No.
No.
Otherwise it becomes a bubbling snort.
It does become a bubbling snort and we get told off. Very good. Well, Sam, thank you very much for being an amazing guinea pig. Hey, good boy.
Is he allowed to clap?
Yeah.
Oh, he loved that. Look at him.
Hey, well done, Woody.
I like the way he's looking round. Who's that
He
for?
knows what he gets now.
He knows he gets his treat now.